C is for crash. So I thought I'd tell you about the various car and motorbike crashes I've been involved with. The first crash I remember was when I was a passenger in my parents' car. My father was driving and we were heading to the port to catch the ferry. Not paying attention at a roundabout, he went under the back of a lorry, and the lorry had one of those great big bars that stick out at the back to prevent people going under it too far. And promptly we had a great big gouge straight up the front of the bonnet. Didn't actually do damage in the sense of the car couldn't work or anything. The lorry driver didn't notice anything and drove off before we could do anything about it. So we had to go drive around Europe with this great big gouge in the front bonnet of the Volvo. The first accident I had where I was in charge was when I had a moped when I was about 16 years old. I was riding the bike back home down a lovely straight road on a lovely summer's evening, perfectly light, when I promptly collided with a car that was parked. The only car that was parked in the entire stretch. I clearly wasn't paying attention. Face straight into the rear windscreen of the car, no damage to the car whatsoever, but smashed my nose up and wrecked the bike, of course. When I got my first 125 motorbike, I crashed that by going too fast towards a roundabout. I'd watched or heard something about braking with the front brake a little bit more in order to gain greater stopping power. Promptly overbrake with the front brake, bike flipped completely over the top and sent me spinning across a roundabout. Again, fortunately, no one was there at the time, so I didn't hit anyone else. Again, it was a write-off. The first car I had, I of course crashed. I was coming off the motorway up the slip road to a high-level roundabout, which had recently had some traffic lights installed. The Volvo in front decided to stop fairly sharply. I wasn't paying attention. I think I was trying to put a cassette in the cassette player and probably crashed into the back of it. Again, hardly any damage to the opponent. The other vehicle. My car, again, a write-off. Can you see a trend here? My next car was a Lada, great big tank of a thing, regularly going wrong. Completely underpowered for its size. Didn't stop me though. Again, coming up to a zebra crossing in this case, cyclist shot out onto the zebra crossing, car in front whacked its brakes on, and I wasn't paying attention. I think I was looking at the pretty girlfriend I had at the time in the passenger seat, and I probably went straight up the rear of the other car. This case, I did damage the other car and effectively wrote off my car at the same time. I then went over 20 years without another accident. Woohoo! Hopefully you're learning something from this, which is the key point of paying attention. In my mid-40s, I decided to pass my motorbike test and go through the various courses to have to do so. My first big bike was a Honda CBR 600, and aside from dropping it a few times due to it being top-heavy while being stationary, I didn't have any accidents on it. My next bike was a Honda Magna, a bit more like a cruiser or Harley Davidson in look. Coming home one summer's evening, I was riding down a bus lane which allowed motorcycles, and a car decided, without looking or indicating, to turn left across the bus lane sharply. I swerved to avoid it, but caught my foot between the bike and the car. I managed to maintain control and stop the bike, but I ended up with a crushed right ankle. About 2 years later, I was riding my CBR 900 back home. I was slowly overtaking some very slow-moving traffic when a post office van suddenly swerved right to turn right without looking or indicating. It wiped me and the bike out, sending me flying across the road. In this instance, I crushed my left ankle between the bike and the van and broke my left wrist. The last two cases were more a case of other people not paying attention rather than me, though I haven't ridden a motorbike since. Will Self remarked, "In survey after survey, people report that the greatest dangers they face are, in this order, terrorist attack, plane crashes and nuclear accidents. This is despite the fact that these three combined have killed fewer people in the past half century than car accidents do in any given year." Paul Merton remarked, "I'm always amazed to hear of air crash victims so badly mutilated that they have to be identified by their dental records. What I can't understand is, if they don't know who you are, how do they know who your dentist is?" I'll leave you with some things written on Australian insurance claims, as made famous by Jasper Carrott. "The accident happened because I had one eye on the lorry in front, one eye on the pedestrian, and the other on the car behind. I pulled into a lay-by with smoke coming from under the hood. I realised the car was on fire, so I took my dog and smothered it with a blanket. Windscreen broken, cause unknown, probably voodoo. The car in front hit the pedestrian, but he got up, so I hit him again. I collided with a stationary truck coming the other way. I was thrown from the car as it left the road. I was later found in a ditch by some stray cows. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I don't have. I thought my window was down, but I found it was up when I put my head through it. The guy was all over the road. I had to swerve a number of times before I hit him. I have been driving for 40 years when I fell asleep at the wheel and had an accident. I saw a slow-moving, sad-faced old gentleman as he bounced off the roof of my car. The pedestrian ran for the pavement, but I got him. And I'll leave you with this last one, talking about paying attention. No one was to blame for the accident, but it would never have happened if the other driver had been alert. That's all for this week. Take care out there. Goodbye.